advised. The opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Magandang gabi Pilipinas, magandang gabi sa Tibok Mindanao, Visayas, ug sa Luzon. Ito po ang inyong Republika. Ako po si Erik Espina. Noong unang pinanukala po ang pagkakaroon ng tinatawag nating computerized elections. Ako po ay isa sa mga taong medyo nagduda kung bakit parang lumusong kaagad tayo sa apoy na hindi natin pinag-iisipan. Sa aking munti ko pong pagkakaalam, ang itong ganitong klaseng bagong teknolohiya ay dapat sasabi nga sa Tagalog at minsan lalo na sa Bisaya, hinay-hinay lang. Sana pinilot testing muna natin yan. Paano? Siguro sa mga OFW votes. Titignan natin kung maganda ba ang patakbo. Kung bibilangin mo ng computer system, ang mga boto galing sa OFW. At pag maganda naman, i-pilot testing naman natin sa mga urban centers. Pagkatapos ng isang eleksyon, pangalawang eleksyon, maganda ang labas. Pagkatapos nun, pwede natin gawin sigurong national. Pero pagkatapos siguro ng 3 eleksyon na nagdaan, ang ginawa natin lahat-lahat sinabay sabaw natin. Kaya eto ngayon, nagtatanong ang buong bayan, maayos ba itong tinatawag nating computer system or computerized election noong 2010? Pero meron pa rin isang bagay na hindi alam ng ating publiko. Ito ba ang kauna-unahang naging pagsusubok natin sa computer system sa halalan? Kaya ngayon, sa gabing ito, 2 tao po ang ating mga kausap. Pareho silang may kinalaman sa computer system or electoral process sa ating computer system na ginagamit. Unang-una po, napakilala ko, isang kilalang tao dito na rin sa GNN, bihasa, dalubhasa sa computer technology. Walang iba kung hindi si Toti Casiño. Ito ay taga Cagayan de Oro pala ito, kababayan, taga Mindanao rin pala ito. Ito, na Vice President ng Philippine Computer Society. So, pili lang kayo, whichever political affiliation. From Mindanaoan or Mindanaonon. So, you have a choice, whichever it is. And the other one is Attorney Homobono Adaza, former governor, assemblyman. But I think the most important title for him will be Citizen Bono Adaza, because I think nowadays we need more vigilant citizens.
I agree with you.
Mayang gabi to both of you.
Mayong gabi sa kanimo.
Okay. Manong Bono, you're here because you were part of the 1987 Grand Alliance for Democracy attempt at the Senate. This was right after the revolution. That's why the title of our program is the first computerized Dagdag Bawas. But before we discuss about the first computerized Dagdag Bawas, itong Grand Alliance for Democracy was, who was behind this? Itong the late Teng Puyat, ano?
Well, the Grand Alliance of Democracy was envisioned by Vicente Teng Puyat,
Okay.
son of Senator Hel Puyat,
Okay.
President of the Senate, pillar of the Nacionalista Party,
Aha.
head of the Puyat Empire in the Philippines,
Manila Bank.
and Manila Bank.
At yan na ngayon ang daan natin. He's now a famous street in Makati.
That's correct.
Senator Hel Puyat, no? Okay.
Buendia, former
Yes,
Buendia.
Former Buendia, okay. And then, how did it happen na nagkaroon ng Grand Alliance for Democracy? Hindi ba identified dito siya dati kay Ninoy, kay Cory Aquino, at yung Grand Alliance Democracy parang naging opposition tuloy?
Identified also with Doy Laurel.
Okay, okay.
Because Anteng, was one of the major financiers of the opposition, specifically of the Aquinos and the Laurels.
Against Marcos at that time?
Against Marcos,
Okay.
yes. He was anti-Marcos all the way. Because the Marcoses, Ferdinand Marcos, they did a lot of injustice to the country and to the Puyats
Okay.
and to the Nacionalista Party, in effect.
Okay.
So Teng proposed the idea to Kit and several others, Kit Tatad, that there should be a Senate slate
Okay.
to fight the slate of Corazon Aquino, and I agree with them. And I was telling everybody that we should really field candidates for the Senate in order to prevent the Cory crowd from controlling Congress.
How did it happen that Teng Puyat, who was also close to Ninoy, who was also close to Cory, ended up on the other side of the fence?
Well, Teng Puyat was a Filipino all the way.
First and foremost.
Oh, he believed in the Filipino people, he believed in the country, and he believed in the cause of the opposition. That's why he presented the idea to several others, including me, that we should organize a Grand Alliance for Democracy. Because the thinking of most of us who later were in Grand Alliance was only to field congressional candidates.
Why didn't Teng Puyat join the incumbent government, which was Cory Aquino then?
Teng Puyat was not the type to join the Cory Aquino government because he learned that it was basically corrupt at the beginning.
Sa simula pa lang?
Simula pa lang.
Okay.
Ting started to see the behavioral pattern of the Aquino crowd, and he felt that he could not join such a crowd.
Sa pag-take over pa lang ng Malacanang yata, nagsimula nang nakawan, ano?
Simula na. Wala pang takeover.
Mga paintings, mga chandelier, mga ganon, ano?
Mga jewels
Jewelry.
ni
Okay.
Imelda Marcos.
Okay.
Ninakaw ng mga kasamahan sa Malacanang.
Background lang, is it true that it was Teng Puyat who was helping Ninoy, sumusulat si Ninoy noon na para padala ng pera or
Correct, that's correct.
si Cory noon?
And Teng used to tell us about that. But it's a matter of personal knowledge with everybody in the opposition that was happening, but more for the burial of Ninoy Aquino. Because,
really? Okay.
Because no people at that time could afford already to sponsor the burial of Ninoy Aquino, especially the crowds.
Totoo ba yun na sinabi niya kay Doña Aurora, don't worry Doña Aurora, ako magbabayad para sa sa libing ni Ninoy.
That's true.
So siya ang nagbayad para sa lahat.
Yes.
He bankrolled the
Okay.
Ting, may his soul rest in peace.
Yes.
Because he's dead now.
Mm.
But Ting did a lot of things for the Filipino people and the opposition, which many of us have already forgotten.
Okay.
I hope they still remember because he contributed a lot.
So siya nagtayo ng Grand Alliance for Democracy.
Yes. And with Senate President Enrile, because I went to Senate President Enrile and asked him to join the Grand Alliance for Democracy because everybody was arguing for everybody to run for Congress. At the beginning, even Senate President Enrile said that we don't have a chance for the Senate because they would cheat all the way.
Pati si Senator Kitatad sumali din dito.
Sumali dito. He was one of the initial architects. He was one of those who believed in Ting.
Okay.
And that's the reason why he talked with us.
So 24 kayo nito, no?
24, some of the best names in the country at the time. Espina.
Mga matatalino yata.
Matatalino at alam na may integridad.
Okay.
Your father, Senator, Governor of Cebu, Governor Rodriguez, Senator Ople, Senator Tolentino, Juan Ponce Enrile, and then young men like Abul Cairalonto,
MNLF, sa MNLF, ano?
No, sa MNLF yung Vice Chairman ng MNLF.
Pati Bono Adaza, siyempre.
Kasama si Bono Adaza.
Okay, 24 kayo noon.
24.
So ano nangyari sa eleksyon? Bakit naging first computerized dagdag bawas ito na hindi alam ng publiko kasi akala nila it never happened eh.
No, I want to tell you this. Many of the people on the other side were my friends.
Okay.
Like Tito Ginguna.
Okay.
I met Tito in the Lumbia Airport in Cagayan de Oro City. Tito, God's sake, you run the risk of losing entirely in these elections because ang crowds nyo, nilalangaw kayo. Langaw ang crowds ninyo.
Okay.
At ang amin, tao.
Despite the fact na administration sila.
Yes, and then Tito was saying, that worries me. Langaw talaga dyan. Sabi ni Tito Ginguna. So, we're joking with each other because he's a good friend. And wherever we were, in Cagayan Valley, by camp, the roof, the roof of the church, since we held the rally in front of the cathedral, the roof was filled. Everywhere, it's not only in Cagayan Valley. Everywhere in the country, Mindanao, Visayas, wherever we were, the crowds were there.
So paano ito naging kauna-unahang dagdag bawas? At how did it become computerized for that matter? Kasi noon, hindi alam natin, manual counting pa. So how did
No, this is what they did. when the election returns were taken,
Okay.
they fed it into the computers. And what they fed into the computers were false election return. As a matter of fact, every time you press the button on the computer for a candidate of Corazon Aquino, that's plus 20,000 per congressional district.
So plus kaagad doon sa mga
Plus kagad.
kandidato ni...
Oh, kandidato ni Cory plus 20,000.
So sino itong mga tatlong tao na ito? Comelec kasama.
Comelec kasama.
Ang NAMFREL kasama din.
Kasama rin ang NAMFREL.
Pati yung Operation Quick Count kasama din.
Kasama rin yan. Kasama silang lahat.
Tatlo sila.
Tatlo. Nagkatawagan ito.
Okay.
I was informed, and Doy Laurel had spies everywhere. It was Doy, he told me,
Oo.
that in one meeting, because they were disturbed,
Oo.
Cory especially with the crowds,
Oo.
disturbed, and Cory talked with the Comelec
Oo.
and several other of his advisors. He said, I should have a majority in the Senate.
Okay.
See to it, I should have a majority in the Senate. And please, make the point that Espina, Nangar, and Adaza do not win.
Bakit kayong
They
pinag-iinitan?
should be out of the circles because we were the most vocal people in the Unido, other than Doy Laurel. So kami, we really fought as we usually do for the country, not just for the Unido. And they did an overkill.
And yet, all you could have done as politicians should have been just to keep quiet and join the government.
Yes.
No? That would have been the easiest thing to do, no?
Very
For a
easily.
politician, for that matter.
Very easily.
Collaboration is the easiest thing to do, no?
Rene Espina was offered jobs. Me,
Oo.
Justice of the Supreme Court, how easy it would have been for me to accept it. And besides,
Like some members of the Unido.
I know. Let's not mention their names.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact,
Okay.
I have a greater reason to join the government.
Okay.
Because in two instances, Cory Aquino, in the presence of Joker Arroyo, and the other time, in the presence of Joker and Nene Pimentel, Cory was saying, you know, Joker, who do you think will succeed me in this chair? Nene or Bono? At the first time, I did not say anything. And the second time, when Nene was there, with you helping me, what chance has this guy?
Ngayon, ang tanong ko, who is the person na nadinig ninyo who is behind the computerization na
Dagdag bawas.
cheating or dagdag bawas?
One of them only.
One of them
Is
is
he candidate for is he a member now
of
the Comelec?
Yan ang
Yes,
nadidinig ko.
Oh, I don't even remember his name, but the family name is Lagman.
Okay.
I don't know whether is he a member of the Comelec now or he wants to be a member of the
Siya yata
Comelec.
ang
He's a
IT,
commissioner.
which sa pagkatinig ko ay hindi pa ma-confirm.
Senate President really better do something about it because he was one of the victims.
Ang pagkaalam ko, ay pinatawag ni Senator Enrile ang Senate in a caucus. Because he didn't want this to undertake this by himself. He called for a caucus, presented the evidence regarding Gas Lagman,
Okay.
and said, kayo mag-decide based on evidence. Ano sa tingin ninyo?
Well, we heard about that years back, no? About the issue with Gas Lagman, who's now the commissioner. And I think he's trying to address that. What was saying that he was representing NAMFREL, and his position was unofficial, as unlike Comelec. Now, if there was any collaboration between Comelec and NAMFREL, that is speculative.
You know, about NAMFREL. That's very interesting because NAMFREL, remember, during the snap elections, and in the tabulation in the Senate, in the Parliament, Cory was leading.
Yes.
When we were down to 75,000, I went to see
Jocon. To tell him to stop the counting.
Precisely. We were together, and he was saying, why are you here? No, let's talk about something very strategic and important. Sabi niya, let's go to a private. No, let's talk about it here. So that people will not think what we are intending to do. Joe, you better stop
Or else,
the count. Otherwise, Marcos will end up as the winner in NAMFREL. And Joe was telling me, who will stop it? You,
because
not
you're
me,
the head.
you as the chairman.
in 1987, this was a snap, pero itong 1987, there were 3 pillars. You had Gas Lagman, Christian Monson, and Concepcion.
Yeah.
Obviously, Christian Monson was not the computer expert.
No.
Yes.
Obviously, Concepcion is not the computer expert. So who could undertake the password to add up all these the systems where the administration candidates would end up winning the election?
Well, insofar as the election is concerned, the Cory magician. And the Cory magician there would be Lagman. Who else? Concepcion be the magician. He has the inkling of a magician, and so is Chris Monson.
So ang fill-up rate daw was tremendous.
Terrifying. I have here the final report. You should take a look
Papakita
at the
natin ito.
final
Pakita
report.
natin sa publiko. Ito po yung final report. Para lang makita ng publiko. Ito yung medyo dated na yung yung papel. People don't have this, no? Okay. Yan, no? Matagal na ito, no? Yan, nakuha na, no? This report was made by the Executive Committee. Of course, nandito si Francisco Tatad, who is a host here, si Manong Bono, Abul Cairolonto, Wilson Gamboa, even Romeo Holosos, Vic Magsaysay, Jess Paredes as members. And the Grand Alliance for Democracy was made up of the Nacionalista Party, Liberal Party, Partido Nacionalista ng Pilipinas, Christian Social Democratic Party, Mindanao Alliance, Muslim Federal Party, and political leaders. Kasama dito din si Blas Ople, and of course, the Governing Council was chaired by Vicente Puyat with Eva Estrada Calao. Ito yung Liberal Party na hindi umalis sa Amerika sa kasagsagan po ng batas militar. Kasi yung karamihan ng mga Liberal Party, nag-aalisan eh.
Yeah.
She was the only one who stayed along with Lito Atienza. Maganda pong reading ito dahil makikita nyo ang mga fill-up rate ng mga regions dito eh. Like for example, sa Region 3, isang kandidato dito, 163.94% ang fill-up rate. Okay? And then for Region 3, for example, average number of senators elected by each voter is 46 out of 24. Okay? Total number of votes counted in Region 3 was 39,497,355. So this is very interesting reading.
As a matter of fact,
yes.
by way of sidelight, Eric, let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
When they were elected in quotation marks, Rene Sagisaganay appeared in a program of Luis Beltran.
Okay.
And you know, Rene was bragging, swaggering like a peacock. And he said, we were elected by the Filipino people. I said, what did you say? We were elected by the Filipino people. You were not elected by the Filipino people. You were elected by the computers of Corazon Aquino.
Computerized
And
senators.
therefore, you are a computerized senator. I tell you, he could not answer.
The same remarks.
Sa sa second portion po natin, tamang-tama po, andito ang ating computer expert, to si Toti Casiño. We're very lucky here in GNN to have personalities such as him. Kasi we're going to address the PICOs because now we're faced with the specter in 2013 of whether we have to face the same dilemma or the same controversies of 2010 and the same glitches. Have they been addressed? Have they not been addressed? Do we go back to manual counting? Do we go a combination of both, manual counting or computerized elections? Will the same controversies arise? Has the COMELEC addressed the so-called glitches? Do we buy a new system? So these are some of the questions. But initially, I'd like to ask Toti, are you optimistic for 2013, Toti?
No, not at all.
You're not at all optimistic?
No. Not only we're not optimistic, even the society, the society where we belong, as well as the civil society group, like the Automated Election System Watch, or ICE Watch, are apprehensive, particularly that COMELEC made already the pronouncement they're going to opt to exercise the PICOs, which has not yet been cleared about all these glitches that they have encountered during the May 10, 2010. Now, unfortunately, the legislators are insisting that let's do away with that and proceed with 2013 and just improve on it. But that's how it's not done on IT.
Okay.
Because once you have a problem in the beginning, you have to verify what was the reasons behind those problems. You have to investigate.
You have to address it.
Exactly. And then take that out and then create entirely a new system. Because if you're going to clear that, all the bugs and the logic errors behind it, it's like, you know, it's very meticulous, very tedious, and it's very difficult, and you're going to lose time rather than build from scratch and build it upwards. Now, PICOS is not the only option. PICOS is a precinct center optical scanning. There's other option called counting center optical scanning.
Don't give everything for the second segment. We're going to be discussing that, no? But apprehensive is a very generous and a kind word. Especially when you're talking about the democracy and the future of the republic.
Actually, it's abject objection would be the better term.
Okay, Republica will return after these few reminders. Okay, nagbabalik po ang Republika at Toti. The COMELEC said already that within the 14 months of the new watch, they have already addressed the glitches and the worries of the previous election.
Not likely. They have not done. They have not. Because when you say and you claim that that will be subject for testing, it has to be an independent body to certify that those changes did occur. Now, if you're going to enumerate all the errors and glitches, you're talking from the counting, that the CF cards, and then the ultraviolet sensor that will determine the original ballots or the fake ballots, and then the transmission where there's an unexplained reason why there's so many delays and failures in so many areas, and then explaining also why is it in some precincts they have received from two different sources the same result.
Okay, you're saying many things at the same time. One thing, has COMELEC introduced the safeguards which was in the law?
No.
Wala pa rin?
Wala.
Or they just addressed certain concerns?
They claim that they've been addressing this. They claim that they have been improving on this. But on what reasons they have, when they do accept that there were errors, we go back to May 10 and 2010 and say, was that a legit election?
Okay.
Then therefore, on the context of was it technically sound? Okay. But because of these glitches, technically speaking, everything that they did proclaim and pronounce, it should be subject for review. Okay. And start from scratch. But because they already admitted that there were glitches, then why are still sitting there and allowing these legislators, whoever they may be, sit in power when actually you have to protect the sanctity and the secrecy of the ballots, the accuracy of the results, and the consolidation of that. As what I've read from that report of the 1987, it is no different from what's happening in 2010. And the figures that you have there in that 1987 report is even more heinous than what has happened in this 2010. Okay. You're talking here of a figure of 383 million registered voters. It's no different from where the Office of Senate President and really received 256 million registered voters, which was transmitted from the central data server of COMELEC into the Office of the Senate President, which they allowed Smartmatic to correct in broad view of everybody, and that's already nullification of the results, because you allowed a foreign source, an unauthenticated source, an uncertified source, to correct what's the origin of this correction? And then they said there was an error in application.
Dapat planchado na ito bago pa nagsimula, hindi ba?
Yes.
I'm just simplifying this para maintindihan ng publiko. No? You cannot make the changes while the system is already running in short.
You liken that to when you release a vehicle, subject to quality assurance and quality control. Before you release it, it has to be subject to harsh tests and stress tests.
Planchado na lahat.
Pero because of these glitches that happened before and after and later on, even the system date, that iba-iba yung results,
correct.
And all of this.
Dapat 0-0 na yun, di ba?
Exactly. And then there are those transmission na meron silang pre-entered ballots of about 49 counters.
For testing.
For testing. Actually, hanggang 10 lang ang limit. So bakit maabot ng 49, some even 100, like the Biliran case? This already proves to show that this is fraudulent.
Is it possible that there are two transmissions, one ahead of the other, from two different sources?
Okay, there was the report that 5,000 jammers were shipped into the country about a year before that, or 6 months before that. Now, once you transmit, you can jam the transmission, and you can send in those manipulated data. Okay. And then
they're meant to jam who? This is now the question. I want to know. Are they supposed to jam those that would like to tilt the system, or are they supposed to jam the ones that are supposed to legitimately send the system?
Well, whichever case that be, that's immaterial. The thing is, you have to ensure, as you were saying kanina, Eric, that everything has to be certified all through and through, from the precinct to the municipality, to the provincial, to the national. So yung transmission niya from that end pataas, dapat yung secured. Walang digital signature. Okay, so you don't know whether the authenticity and the accuracy of that result is accurate. There was this report of the 60 machines discovered in one house in Antipolo. Not only they discovered those biggest machines, they also discovered the vegan, the ones that could use for transmission. So you put two and two together. You got jamming machines, and you got vegan in an unauthorized area. Anything can happen that you can do transmission from an unauthorized resource.
There's an election lawyer that says, why should we worry? There is 40 million photographs of the ballots that were cast.
Yes, but even the 40 million photographs cannot testify whether those are authentic ballots, because even a fake ballot can enter into this because they disabled the UV ultraviolet sensor.
So posibleng fake ballots ang pinasok?
Yes, kasi you can photocopy what they claim, yung mga barcodes and all that. You can photocopy a ballot and enter it into that machine, and you'll not detect the difference.
Toti, I have a question. Why was there no receipt? Let's say, it's very basic, no? I vote, I want to know whether this machine appreciated my
Okay,
vote. And then, to stop electoral fraud so that my vote is not bought, it's like a teller machine. I know what my balance is. I know that this is the way I voted. I throw my paper. I don't bring out that paper. It could be part of the law. In short, after I see that this machine appreciates, I throw it.
Right.
Bakit walang ganon?
Well, the line of reasoning of COMELEC then under Melo, Chairman Melo, was saying to avoid unnecessary delay in the piling of the casting of the votes. Because they claim na maraming mga tao dyan pipila at pag tinitingnan nila, mag-usero, tatagalan yung magbasa. So tinanggalan nila yun, parang let's go and move on.
Or it could be in a different section. After you vote, you go to a different section, wait for the receipt to come out. And then it's just a question of how to plan it out.
Pero COMELEC's excuse at that time was rather lame. It's unorthodox and it's unacceptable. But somehow, because they're in the position, they're a constitutional body, they were tolerated.
Manong Bono, I have a question for you. You're a politician. You have the gift of gab. Do you feel that all this debate, all these discussions, back and forth, is all about delaying? And at the end of the day, to accept a given system, whether we like it or not?
No. All that we are saying here is the COMELEC is the cheating machine.
Okay.
It's the cheating machine. If there are glitches here, the glitch, number one glitch, is the one who accepts the use of the cheating machines, which means the chairman of the COMELEC.
Okay.
I'll tell you. We have a case before the Supreme Court,
Yes.
questioning the validity of the 2010 elections. We have noted on, as pointed out by Toti here, they have amended, the COMELEC has amended the law. They have, under the law, there's got to be UV sensors, UV lamps.
Okay.
They didn't use UV lamps. So the UV lamps...
What, by COMELEC resolution, they amended the law?
By way of community...
COMELEC resolution? They amended the law?
They amended the
No,
law.
it wasn't specific about the UV lamp, but they had to have the security measures.
Yes, security measures.
Okay.
Right. The digital signature is one of them.
Under 9369. Under Section 22,
Right.
enumeration of the security measures, that's one of them. They amended it by way of a resolution.
Okay.
And these people should know, Melo should know, that they cannot amend a law passed by Congress.
And is he from UP? Is he from UP law?
I don't know. If he were from UP law, something's wrong with him. Because at our time, such people could not be graduated from the University of the Philippines. But based even on the impeachment now, there's so many people from UP should have graduated there.
Okay.
That's an aside.
Okay.
Second, other than the UP lamps from the very beginning, the Smartmatic team is not qualified under the law. Because the qualification is it must have experience, tested experience, and here or abroad in the conduct. But this is a corporation organized in 2008 in the Philippines. And they have no experience anywhere in the world, including this country. They are claiming that their experience in the arm, but the law is specific that the arm experience does not count. So number one, they amended that provision of the law. Second, the UV lamp. Second, the digital signature, which is the worst because and the digital signature is required under the law. You know, the past resolution, 8786, change that the resolution said this. Is the BI would you like to use a digital signature? Answer, according to the instruction. No.
Are you sure?
Are you sure of your answer to the previous one? Yes, it means it has no digital signature. By their own admission in black and white, there is no digital signature. Now, Congress, the joint session of Congress, under the Constitution, should be the one to count, and they should base their count on a genuine official document. Now, they counted their documents which are not official because they do not contain the digital signatures.
Correct.
As admitted by the COMELEC itself, amended by the COMELEC. But, you know, Congress, there's nothing we can do. about what this important element would say.
what
But,
do you-
but,
yes.
but let me tell you this.
Yes.
But in our petition with the Supreme Court, and
Yes.
one of the respondents is
Is.
Speaker Nograles.
Okay.
He wrote the following conclusions in his comment.
Okay,
I'd like to read
okay,
it.
please, please.
Okay. Quote, it is respectfully submitted that what guided the conduct of the automated election system in the May 10, 2010 elections were the personal whims and uncontrolled discretion of the COMELEC and its officials, such that what prevailed was not the rule of law, but a reign of men without law, such that it failed to ensure the sanctity of the ballot and all elections, consolidation and transmission documents as declared by the state policy as its policy in the automated election system, which means based on the admission of the participant in the proclamation that there was a failure of the elections and all these people were not elected.
So what's going to happen will be a sanctity of the reign of the unelected.
Yes, that's correct.
Is that what?
That's what's happening now.
So these are now people with unquiet titles.
Yes, of course. We have to quiet. The Supreme Court should quiet their titles and make an open declaration that in black and white, the 2010 elections was a failure and these people are not duly elected officials.
Toti, how crucial was the flashcards?
Oh, very
Last-minute change.
crucial. Yeah, that's very
Crucial
crucial.
yun.
Yeah, yes. Because that will be admissible evidence under the e-commerce law or
Okay.
Republic Act 8782
Oo.
na this has to be certified, true and correct, and they should be kept like it's gold.
Okay.
But we also saw witnesses like again, the Oro. Tinapon lang yun doon sa basurahan. So, ano na yun that's already grounds for electoral sabotage.
Yes, yes.
And then COMELEC have not done much about that. They said they conducted the investigation, but that's what come of that. And the CF card will automatically tell you, was it really the same image that was captured? Was the count done? Yung system date is also reflected on the CF card.
How do you feel now that COMELEC is bent on adopting the PICOS as the system for 2013? It is sure to adopt the
Betrayal.
Betrayal.
Betrayal. The utmost betrayal against the sovereignty of the people.
They are sure of adopting it?
Yeah.
Yes,
PICOS ang PICOS
meron
na.
ng resolution.
Because they say that to buy a new system will cost 10.4 billion pesos.
Alam mo yan.
There is no material time, sabi daw nila. And then
If they opt to pursue the PICOS, but that's not the only technology that can.
yes,
COMELEC can
what
pursue.
other technologies are there?
There's also another technology what we call CCOS, which is
Okay.
the Counting Center Optical Scanning. It's not precinct-based. You go to a counting center and then you send it by batch, which
Okay.
they did in the ARM election of 2008.
Okay.
And there was not much flaw, except lang yung mga pre-shading.
Oo.
But even then, how you secure those ballots, put it in a very secured box, and then send it over to the counting center, and then witnessed by everybody, which we saw in Marawi, sa Kapitolyo, sa gym, kita ng lahat.
Is there a way to make it partly manual, partly computerized?
Yes. They're given that.
Manong, I will ask you. For you, I mean,
You know, for me, the best,
Yes.
the best is the human machine. What do I mean? The use of the automatic election system has been outlawed in Germany,
Okay.
no less than the Federal Supreme Court in the United States of America, in Germany.
Yes.
Based on the American experience,
Uh-huh.
they are saying that one president was elected by Illinois only.
Uh-huh.
Because the Democratic Party and the Richard Daley has a machine there where you percentage of the votes when you do the one of the pins for the Republican Party, the machine registers Democratic Party. So the Illinois system was in effect proved to be useless. The other one is Florida, remember?
Yes.
It's a matter of general perception that Gore got elected, but Bush became president. So the machine is never reliable.
Okay.
Pardon me, Toti. You know the best machine?
Yes.
And it's been tested in the Philippines.
Is
Let me tell you, it's the human machine.
uh-huh.
It is the Korea administration that introduced cheating in a nationwide scale in the Philippines, and it continues up to this day. You know, before when you cast your vote, every vote is registered in the blackboard.
Yes.
You see it even 20 meters away from the blackboard.
yes, yes.
Now, it is registered in the Manila paper where the only one who can see is the one who put the marks in the Manila paper. Cheating number 1.
Okay. Number 2.
Cheating number 2, the composition of the BEI
Yes.
and the proclamation committees.
Yes.
Before the BEI was composed of the majority party,
Minority.
the minority party,
Yeah.
the chairman,
Chairman.
and the poll clerk,
Yeah.
the one who records
Yeah, yeah.
in the blackboard.
Yes.
Now, no more.
Uh,
There are no more political parties because before, the party representative will check each other.
Yes, they were
So
inspectors.
cheating would not be prevented.
Yeah.
Now,
Inspectors. They're
it's
watchers.
very easy. Now, teachers.
yeah, teachers.
Teachers are easily intimidated. I know that.
Yes, yes. Even in Mindanao.
Even in more so in Mindanao.
Mindanao, yes.
As a matter of fact, my experience is during the election for the interim batasan, out of 9 members in our slate in Region 10, 8 of us got elected under Mindanao Alliance. After 1 week, with Garciliano and the teachers, you know what happened? The reverse happened. Pilais was only number 9, became number 1. Canoy became number 9.
Okay.
I was number 2, so I became number 10. Unreliable. So the human machine is still the best, but revert back to the old system.
So you want manual?
Manual and under the old system,
Okay.
where parties are represented.
Toti, the COMELEC is saying we have been in, we have been here for 14 months. So many people are complaining to the Congress, to the committee hearings. Nope, we are not receiving any proposals. Sabi niya, kayo daw mga magagaling, bakit hindi kayo mag-propose dito sa amin para alam namin kung ano gagawin namin?
That has been submitted many times. In fact, the
Okay.
Center for People Empowerment and Governance have communicated many times. Also, ISWAT has communicated
But-
many times. But it has fallen deaf ears.
And then, how crucial is the storage of these PCOS machines?
How good is storing it?
Malinis ba? Is the area sanitized? What? Is that very crucial to the system?
Not, it's nothing to do with the storage. It's what do you put in storage? Well, you have to have it air conditioned, not to
Okay.
avoid it to gather dust. But they're also subject to obsolescence sooner or later.
Because sabi nila, they inspected daw the storage and the sanitation area and all that. Walang dust. That's why they're adopting the PCOS.
Well, okay, the same manner that we had this in 2003, 2004 when COMELEC contracted Mega Pacific. Then we're only talking about 1,991 machines. When the Supreme Court came up with the ruling on January of 2004, kinahon yun sa bakal. And that is more secured. I mean, but this one, may open siya to elements. So how can they say it is pure and clean? Wala sa, kasi kailangan mo na parang naka-vault din siya.
Totoo ba yung mga transmission na wala na yung mga safeguards lahat?
Nawala na yun. Kasi you need a digital signature to authenticate that the
It
source.
was sent through, what's the proper term for that? Sa computer system na you can actually go into it, hack into it, wala nang firewall, wala lahat.
They go to a central server. Kasi
Okay.
from the precinct, ang dapat ang hierarchy niya is to the next municipality level official. Pero binabato niya sa central server and then bababa niya sa municipality. Ipopost pa niya sa website. But what did you see in the website? We saw some results, hindi kompleto. So what does that tell us? It was an incomplete program.
Okay.
So
Wala daw central server. Meron ba?
Meron.
Alam ba natin saan yung central server? Wala. Hindi rin
nila
alam ng COMELEC.
They didn't make that transparent. They didn't make it that transparent, but there was.
Okay, last 30 seconds. Toti,
Well,
final words.
This is in very crucial times, and I think our constituents need to be involved and be participative in this occasion, because otherwise we have put our democracy at hostage, at ransom.
Okay,
Let's go back to the old system.
manual.
Abolish the Cory system, meaning now there should be representation in the BEI of the parties,
Okay.
the prevailing majority party and the minority party, and also in the board of canvassers.
Okay.
This should be represented. And in the meanwhile, we do away with the machines before studying very well the glitches, especially the principal glitch, which is the COMELEC. So we go back to the old system if there will be elections in 2013, and we will at least have an election that is more or less clean and honest.
Well, wala na po tayong panahon. Maraming salamat po kay Atty. Homobono Adaza at siyempre kay Toti Casiño. I hope this will not be the last time. At nakakalungkot po dahil kung hindi po tayo mag-iingat sa 2013, the elections will go to the highest bidder. And when that happens, well, we won't have basically a democracy. And we won't have a republic, so to speak. Ito po si Erik Espina na palaging nagsasabi sa inyo, magmasid, makialam, higit sa lahat po ay manindigan. Sapagkat wala pong magmamahal sa Pilipino kung hindi ang Pilipino. Daghang salamat, maayong gabi, kaninyong tanan.